Hi there, Sandra here from the Schwowin's Nest. Thanks for stopping by. If you've clicked on my video, you're looking for some more farmhouse minis for your tiered tray. I'm starting off with this round wooden circle that came from the Dollar Tree Crafters Square. They have, I think, 6 of them in a pack. And I'm also using these coffee stir sticks. I'm just cutting them straight at the bottom and then I'll hot glue them right onto the circle. I'm going to use 8 of them all together. In order for me to get them spaced somewhat the same width apart, I started with north, south, east, and west, and now I'm just going to finish gluing some sticks in between those. Next, I'm going to take my hot glue and glue a piece of twine right on the inside where you see me holding it here, and that's just going to help me to start my little weave basket. I'm taking the twine, I'm wrapping it around the outside of the stir stick and then bringing it on the inside and folding it over on itself. Then I'll continue that. It's a little difficult. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it properly, but you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So I hope you get the idea. Since the basket is going to be for a tiered tray, I didn't want it to be very tall, so I stopped at about a couple inches. And what I'm doing now is just taking one more row of twine all the way around. I'm not wrapping it around the sticks, but I'm just hot gluing the twine in place so it will hold all of the weave down. Once I went all the way around once, it was time to cut the stir sticks. So here's what the little basket looks like so far. I think it's absolutely adorable. I had so much fun working with this. Using more twine and some hot glue, I'm just going to wrap the twine around 4 or 5 times to make the top of the basket a little bit thicker. It's time to work on the bottom. I didn't want this wood piece to be showing, even though it would be sitting on it, you would still be able to notice it if you picked it up. So I decided to make it look 100% like a basket. So I'm taking the twine and I'm just going to hot glue it around that wood edge, camouflage that as best I can, and then I'm going to continue using hot glue and winding the twine on the bottom until it's totally covered. With my little basket finished, I think he is super cute. I'm going to take some of this white butcher twine and just give it a couple of stripes, one at the top and then some at the bottom, just to give it a little bit more of a real basket look with different colors. With my little basket complete, I'm going to add some greenery to it. So I'm just taking some hot glue and this little styrofoam ball. These were some balls that I picked up right after Christmas, and I thought I was going to make some snowballs out of them. I didn't get around to doing that project. These are turning out to be the perfect size for all of these little containers and things that I want to use, and it was so cheap. I got 8 of them in a pack for $1.25. So it was a really good bargain. If you can see some of these styrofoam balls, they are awesome. Anyhow, I'm taking some of this eucalyptus. I'm gluing the little stems together because as you can see here, they slide up and down, and I want them to be in the same spot. I don't want them to slide around. So I'm going to go ahead and trim some of the wire so I can have 2 stems per branch. And then I'm going to start adding them into the little styrofoam ball and just work at it until I've got it the way I like it. You can't see it from this angle, but when I was looking at it, I could see the styrofoam ball sticking out a little bit. So I'm just going to take some of this reindeer moss and just push it down into the little basket to camouflage the white. This next DIY turned out super cute. I used my Cricut and a piece of foil glued onto some cardstock to cut out the shape of this pig. I will have the free printable of the pig on my website. Just go down to my description box when you're done watching and click on the free printables link, and you'll find the pig that you can download very easily. What I wanted to do is create a little faux metal pig for my tiered tray. So I'm just going to cut out his little tail there because that was just one part of the design that Cricut didn't cut out. But other than that, you can see it's pretty sweet. Next, I'm taking two bamboo skewers and I'm going to hot glue them onto the back of the pig. And these will be my little standing faux iron pieces. I'm making a little faux metal pig, and this is something that I've wanted to create for a really long time, and I actually would like to do a large one, so you might see that coming up on my channel soon. Using hot glue, I'm just going to glue them on, making sure that they're nice and straight. To make sure that the paper doesn't bend when I paint it, I'm using some of these coffee stir sticks, gluing them onto the back to keep it nice and straight. So here you can see the pig, and the foil is fairly bright. So I'm taking a makeup sponge and a medium gray paint, and this is just an acrylic paint, and I'm just going to sponge across the pig just to dull him down a little wee bit. I do want some of that shine to come through, but not all of it. Next, I'm going to take some black, and even though I will put some through the body, I am focusing more on the edges because I want that to be a more deeper dimensional kind of look. And I know when I've seen different metal pieces, they're always a little bit darker on the edges. Because this piece is going to be standing straight up, you will see the back. So I'm taking the makeup sponge again with the gray paint, and I'm just giving this a nice solid coat on the back. And then I'll use a small brush just to get into all the little cracks that I missed out. Then I'll take some black and paint the skewers solid black. I cut the skewers down to the height I wanted, and now I'm just going to line it up so I can mark out where I want the holes to be. Then I'm going to take a large nail and my hammer and just hammer in a little bit down, probably not even about 1/8 of an inch, just enough so I have a hole where I can stick the skewers in and glue them in place. Using the medium thickness Starbond glue, I'm going to squeeze a drop into each hole and then push the skewers in place. I really love how this little piggy turned out, and I have a feeling I might have a barnyard soon. This last DIY is using one of these wood planks that you can get at the Dollar Tree in a pack of 6. I've measured out a 1.5-inch piece and two 1-inch pieces. Using my utility knife, I'm going to score lines into it, and it doesn't take long to get through. You do have to apply a little bit of pressure. If you wanted to, you could use a saw to cut these through. If you have a miter box, that would work, or you could probably even just cut it with a really strong pair of scissors or some snips, but I just find that this is the easiest way for me. Once you've scored almost all the way through, you can pick it up and just give it a slight bend. Then you'll get a crease line which you can cut through with your knife and your pieces will come apart. So I'll repeat these steps for the next two pieces as well. With the leftover piece, I'm going to be creating the sides of my little baby crate. I just measured a halfway point, and I'm just going to again take my knife and score it and then snap it in half. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take each of these pieces, draw a line about halfway down across, and then I'm going to have two little points at the top where I'm going to draw an angled line. And this is going to give me where I need to cut for the sides of my little tool caddy. So it's really simple to do. You can just follow along with these instructions and get yourself a tiny little tool caddy that is absolutely adorable. These little angled pieces are a little harder to grab, so I always take my needle nose pliers and then just give them a little bit of a bend and they snap right off. I'll just sand the edges to make sure there aren't any little slivers or splinters sticking out. I'm using the Starbond medium thickness glue again, but this time I'm actually going to be using the accelerator spray, which helps the glue dry faster. I'm going to put the glue down on the non-porous part of the wood, so wood that hasn't been cut yet, and then I'll spray the accelerator onto the cut side, put the two pieces together, and it's going to dry within about 5 seconds. I love using Starbond glue for these small projects. I tend to do a lot of them and it is really worth the investment. If you'd like to check out the glues, I've got a link down in my description box along with a 10% off code that you can use for yourself. Here's my little tool caddy all assembled, and now I'm going to take a 1/4 inch dowel rod and cut it down to size using my miter shears, and using my Starbond glue again, I'll glue that into place. I'm going to give him a couple of coats of white paint, inside and out. While I was waiting for the paint to dry, I designed this little Market Fresh homemade preserves sign. This will also be a free printable down in my description box on my website. And I'm just going to cut out the small one because this needs to fit in the front of my crate. So I will have a larger size for you, but you can shrink it down very easily. It will just be a JPEG image. I'm going to use a glue stick because this is paper and I've just had a lot more success with glue sticks rather than Mod Podge. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this right to the front of the little crate. I found these little glass containers at a dollar store just before Christmas. I think I've seen them at Dollar Tree as well. And I thought these would be the cutest little things to sort of mimic mason jars inside this little crate. But of course, I can't leave them plain. I'm going to take some of this Dollar Tree twine and I'm going to use the red and white and the dark blue and white. Two of these little jars will get this baker's twine on their lids, and then one of them will get the blue one on its lid. I also designed some little labels for the little jars. These are just some fruits, so I will cut them out and use my glue stick again to put them on the front of the containers. Of course, I'm going to add some distressing with some black. I'm just going to flick it around the edges and then add a little bit on the Market Fresh label itself as well to give it more of a distressed and rustic look. Then I thought the jar lids looked a little too shiny, so I'm going to distress them as well. I hope you enjoyed these DIYs today. I know that a lot of you love the little tiered tray minis as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, I'd love for you to stick around. Hit that subscribe button. Those two black arrows will show you exactly where to click. See you in the next one.